Hello and welcome to Mind Your Mortgage. Today we're with two regional sales managers at the Summit region here at Security National Mortgage Company. We've got Ivonne Vasquez and we've got Tony Foster. Ivonne specializes in sales and loans, and Tony specializes in recruiting and market growth. Now let's hear from Ivonne and Tony as they briefly introduce themselves.
I'm Ivonne Vasquez. I'm the regional sales manager for Summit Region, and I've been in the mortgage industry for exactly 20 years. So I started when I was 10.
And my name is Tony Foster. I'm a regional sales manager with the Summit region. And I've been in the business since 2001, and I've been at Security National. It will be a year next month.
Nice. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
I'm Beau Christensen, host of Mind Your Mortgage and media marketing specialist at Security National Mortgage Company. In this episode, we'll learn about growing a branch to a region, property investment, quality over quantity when it comes to hiring, and serving diverse communities and diverse products. But before that, let's get to know our guests a little bit better. So, Yvonne, what brought you into the industry?
I was 19 when I got brought into the industry. And actually, what brought us into the industry was that my mom got scammed into a mortgage. So she did the whole shopping for the house. We got keys, the whole realtor, and then we got our first bill, and the bill started coming under somebody else's name. And it turned out it was like a rental agreement. Not even the owner knew that we thought we owned it. He thought that we were renting the home. So through the process of where did that money go to? Because she gave the full down payment. We signed loan documents. It was a legit, well done scam. Through all of that process, I started learning about it. We started looking into different mortgage companies and how it really worked. And it turned out that a loan processor from a mortgage company that's from our area was a high school friend. And he was like, hey, start processing. Let's figure it out as you go. And so that's what I did.
Wow, that's really scary that happened.
Yes.
The fact that it didn't scare you off, it led you right into the belly of the beast in a way.
Yes,
That's really cool.
And we wanted to advocate for, in the Hispanic community, it's sadly so common for them to be scammed out of earnest money, out of down payments, into investments, that it was important to be that another person in there and to figure out how it really works so that I can inform other people, like all our friends and family, to make sure they were not being scammed.
Yeah. Wow, that's really awesome. And Tony, what about yourself? How did you get into the industry?
Well, my story is a little bit less exciting. I was buying my first house, and I had an appointment with the loan officer, and I was sitting across the desk, and they were asking the questions, just really trying to figure out how to make the scenario look good for the underwriters. And they were wearing a nice business attire, and I thought I can do that. And after I closed on the house, I talked to that loan officer, and they're like, oh yeah, come on in and give it a shot. And that's what I did. That's when I started. It's pretty simple.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you just got to experience it from the...
Yeah. Like, I can do that. Yeah.
I love that.
And it's worked out. So 2002.
Yeah, glad you gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Yvonne, what are some of your passions outside of work?
I have no passions outside of work.
Uh-oh.
No kidding. No, I really don't. I'm a dance mom. I spend my weekends at the dance studio, my evenings at the dance studio, competitions. So there is not much of a balance. But I really enjoy this stage of my life of being everywhere with my daughter and doing the dance life. But aside from that, I really don't have time for anything else.
So really just work at dance.
I work and I go to the dance studio.
And you can follow her on Facebook.
Yes, follow me. Follow me on TikTok, and you see all of our dance life in there.
Always, yeah. Make sure you follow Yvonne. We'll have all of her socials linked. And Tony, what about you? What are some of your passions?
My kids are grown. They're both been out of the house. They're both in the Army, so we're a military family. But living in Arizona, we're always outdoors. In the summertime, people say it's super hot. We're at the lake just about every weekend. Any opportunity we can get, we go to the lake. And, we own 4 Jeeps, so we're kind of a Jeep family. So we're either in the desert driving Jeeps or at the lake, in the water. So that's all we do now. Yeah, it's a good time.
That's good stuff. All right, so Yvonne, you said there isn't really much of a balance.
Uh-huh.
How do you balance? Is there
Oh,
any? It's just really
now
50
seriously
here, 50
speaking,
there.
no, I'm on a schedule. Like I don't work well outside of a schedule,
Yeah.
and I easily can do other things if I'm asked to. But in order for me to get everything done, I do have to stay on a schedule. So like I have my alarm for like the time to get up, the time to start cooking, the time to, leave for school, give myself driving time. In my appointments, I have to like after an appointment, leave myself like 30 minutes to catch up on emails and paperwork. And then I set up my next, like I am completely scheduled from like 4 a.m. till 8:30 when it's like I have to read for 30 minutes. And that's my get off the phone, get off TV,
Yeah.
because if not, my mind won't wind down and be able to go to sleep. So I literally have my whole life on my calendar. And if you're not in my calendar, it's not happening. Like it's just not happening.
I'm glad we made that cut then.
Yes.
So just time blocking the whole day.
I time block my whole day, my whole weekend, months ahead.
Yeah, that's great. I find that you can really utilize and accomplish what you want.
Yes.
You really do that because then it makes you follow that.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that's a great way. And Tony, what about you? How do you like to balance your personal life with your professional life?
I think being in the business from time to time, you can really lose sight of your personal life, by working so many hours. And, probably around 2004, when I met my wife, that's when I really decided like, okay, I need to be able to compartmentalize work and, outside of work. If I was 32 when I met my wife. So I really need to figure out, okay, you want to, lose everything to work, 15 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. And, I wasn't, I got to the point in my career, in my life where I wanted to make sure that I was being able to go to the lake on a Saturday versus working and going out on the trails, driving a Jeep. And, when I met my wife, it made it a little bit easier to compartmentalize, work and, outside work. So right now it's pretty simple for me. I live a pretty regimented life, very similar to Yvonne. With the kids out of the house, it's a little bit easier for me, but, I'm very regimented in the fact that I kind of do the same things Monday through Friday. I eat the same breakfast, I eat the same lunch, do the same things, go to the gym at the exact same time. I really, my 8 to 5 is the exact same. And I try to take a lot of the small decision making out of that. That's why it's like, wake up, eat the breakfast, go to the office, eat the same lunch, follow my calendar, and I'm out. When I'm home, I got, same thing. I got this I'm going to do, I got this I'm going to do, I got this I'm going to do. And then, that's kind of the Monday through Friday.
Yeah. So just a really good routine.
A routine,
Keep it nice,
yeah.
and disciplined.
Nice and simple.
Same kind of
yeah, like if I had a uniform, that would make it easier too,
Yeah.
You don't have to make the choice of what to wear every day.
That's great. I mean, and that way you're always on top of what you need to be doing, and in turn you're gonna make time for your personal life.
Yeah.
Since you're just so locked in on that routine. Okay, so we're gonna get into some of our main topics now. Can you explain why focusing on quality and recruiting loan officers is more beneficial than simply increasing the numbers?
Yeah, the cost to onboard, the cost to recruit, and the cost to onboard new talent to your team is now more expensive than ever. And, when you're bringing on the wrong people just so that they can realize that they're not at the right place and we realize they're not a good fit for us, for them to make that decision after 6 to 12 months, it's a lose-lose for everyone. We've uprooted that candidate or that loan officer's life because, they do this so they can make money, live life, pay bills, pay mortgages. So we uprooted that, as well as, we lost money in the region by bringing people on, possibly giving them upfront money, guarantees and stuff like that, only to have them realize that it's not a good fit after 6, 12 months. It's just, it's a loses for everyone. In our region, we have recruiting goals, that's for sure. We have quantity, we have the number of candidates we want to bring on, but we always make sure that we don't live by that number, because what we don't want to do is know that we have to hit that number, so we're hiring the wrong people. Because we never want to do that. So we have a goal, but more than the number goal, the quantity goal, the volume goal is making sure that we bring on the right person who fits our team. Because this team has a very unique dynamic. This team has, they're very close. The team cares about each other. Our regional mission statement is not just words on a wall. I mean, it's what we live. The culture comes from our loan officers. It comes from our people. Everyone's a leader in our group. We ask that everyone in our group contributes to everyone else getting better. So recruiting someone that doesn't fit that, it could really, hurt the overall growth of the region.
Yeah.
The overall symmetry of the region. So we very, 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 cognizant of that, and recruiting the right person is the number one goal for us.
Yeah.
So it's really about finding the right fit. And what would you say makes someone or a loan officer the right fit for SecurityNational?
Gosh. First of all, we already went through the trial and error of recruiting anybody and everybody, right? And that made us realize and come to what Tony's talking about. Like, we have a culture that we want to maintain. And I think the right person for our summit region is somebody, number one, that's here to work, that has that work ethic, that wants to learn and that wants to grow and that wants to be part of something.
Yes.
Because we do a lot of masterminding. We really help each other out. Like, we are all, even though we have individual teams, even though we have individual branches, and loan officers that work individually, we are all helping each other grow in whatever, to whatever degree that person wants to grow to, right? So I have my loan officers that just want to stay consistent, 1-2 loans a month, because they have other priorities. And that's perfect. Like, if that's your goal, like, let's get you there and see what we need to do. And you have your loan officer that onboards because they feel like they're not getting the help and the assistance, but they feel that they have the ability to grow. And they're closing maybe 2-3 loans a month, but they can be that 5 to 7 loan officer. And that's perfect if that's your goal, right? And then we have our loan officers that want to do 20 loans a month, and let's figure out what we need to do there. And I think our region works very well to people who are driven like this, because we have all the tools and we have all the experience. So, like, we literally do like weekly trainings on loan products. We have people who are available a good 12 to 15 hours a day to help you structure your loans, to make sure you don't get stuck. If you have any questions, make sure that loan is moving forward. So if you're that person that really is there to work and get it done, we're here. Like, we can really help you. I mean, I think we have a really great culture, and everybody's here to help you, and we all love to hang out and get it done, get the work done. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think having some drive and general curiosity about what you're going into can go a really long way, especially somewhere here where we have a lot of expertise to really help nurture your growth.
Yeah.
And get you to where you want to go. How does diversity in the communities you serve impact your approach to lending?
We have a diverse communities and diverse loan products.
Do you want me to combine them into one?
And they all interlink.
Okay.
Because the fact that we service such diverse communities help us maintain a good balance of loan products. So, for example, we have our Hawaii loan officers that do Hawaii home loans. That is such a niche product that not everybody can do. It's a product that takes 3 to 6 months to close, and it's for Hawaiian natives, and it's such a specific and a special program for them. We have loan officers in Hawaii who specialize in investment properties. Everybody who goes out to Hawaii to invest, to have their second homes, their vacation homes, to invest in Airbnbs. And this is something that they specialize in. And they are able to really use all the non-QM products that we have, all the DSCR products that we have. So being able to offer both and to service both helps us maintain a really good balance. Now, because we are in Hawaii and we're in Arizona and we have loan officers in California and Florida and Chicago, we're able to help a lot of different people, and we're able to use a whole lot of different products because the products, for example, in Arizona, that we have teams that do a lot of first-time home buyer down payment assistance, right? We also have teams that do nothing but bank statement programs or nothing but non-QM. My niche is more like of your I-10, your profit and loss, or your investor, your DSCR loan. So everybody specializes in something different. So we bring in a really good mix of different products every month so that we're able to not have lows and highs, which is something that can happen within a branch or within a region, where, certain buyers are seasonal. You're going to have your first time home buyer comes and buys, when they get their tax returns, right? Their tax refund. So your April, May, June may look really good, and then your July dips. But that's when our investors in Hawaii are buying. And so that's why our July stays the same. And it's having a diversity in loan products and in loan officers that specialize in different communities has helped us continue to grow at a steady pace. So it interlinks with each other.
That's really interesting how that works out because, I mean, you've got diversity in so many different categories that
Yes.
way. And the fact they can all just interlink and play off of each other and create stability, I think that's a really
Yeah.
beneficial thing.
And you need it all throughout, not just in something as simple as mortgages, but the diversity itself and all the different products and all the different things is what creates the stability. It works good for us. And something that really helps us as well is that there's always somebody who's a specialist in something, right? So whenever I'm stuck, I did like my first broker loan, like I knew exactly who to call. Like I needed my first written VOE loan. I was like, this loan officer does like 5 of them a month. Like she helped me structure in 10 minutes. We were done, and it was like a fast clear to close. Whenever I have like a DPA loan, I know I can go to Michelle. Whenever I have an investment loan, I know I can go to Phil. Like everybody has something that they're really, really good at. And nobody's there gatekeeping or trying to not help you. Everybody is so eager to help, and it makes it really easy to move on onto something new and to be able to learn something new and then, run with it, right?
Yeah. And then in turn, you can go and help someone.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about branch growth. And I know your region started out as a branch, right?
Yeah.
So, what are the key strategies you've implemented at your branch to become a region?
I started off with Svetlana in 2014. We started off together in a branch. Then she went off and opened up her own branch. And then I stayed with her, moved from one branch to the other, and then started growing a team within her branch. And then from her branch, we decided to open a West Valley branch to where I was at because she was Far East Valley. And then eventually we became an area and then a region, right? And I think one of the most important things that she taught me was to stay on top of your pipeline. It's amazing to me how many managers don't know the loans that they have with their loan officers, that they don't maintain a pipeline, that they don't know where the loans are going every day. I don't think I've ever met a higher level manager that knows our 60 loans by like last name and knows that you were supposed to lock this one, or hey, what happened to that loan? Did they sign last night? Like Svetlana does. Like she's on top of that pipeline. I do a lot of the pipeline management. And we are in that pipeline consistently all day, We know exactly how many loans are supposed to fund every day. We know what loans needed to lock today. We know which loan has an extension. We know which loan the appraisal's late. Like every single file, like we're consistently on them, and we're talking to the loan officers good 2-3 times a week. Like, did you lock this loan? Like, do you have any conditions that you can't clear? Let me talk to the underwriter about this. Let me bring it up to policy. We do a lot of TBDs, which is just underwriting the credit and the borrower, or the credit, the income without the property, right? While they are in the pre-qualification status. And even those, we're looking at them, we're looking at all the conditions. Like, so as a manager, to being very involved in that pipeline and the pipeline moving forward, I think that has helped us continue growing, because I see a lot of big branches not work well, but I also see that the managers have no idea what's going on with the pipeline.
Yeah, it's those small details you've got
Yes.
to make sure that you're paying attention to everything that's happening.
Yes. What do you think also helped us grow?
I think support, because I think when a lot of people talk about support, especially when we're recruiting, we talk to candidates, they talk about, I don't have any support. I think most people think, oh, they're not closing my loans. Underwriter's not doing this, process is not doing this. But I mean, that's, when we talk about support, it's the entire thing, entire gamut. It's making sure that you're once you submit a loan, your loan closes, but it's also helping you grow as a loan officer. Because what we do a lot of coaching. Like I said, on our calls, it's a lot of coaching, and we try to, we do some one-on-one coaching, and we really try to focus on loan officers getting better. If every loan officer could improve by one more loan a month, now you're talking 25, 30 more loans a month for the region. So when we talk about business development and market growth, it's not just recruiting and adding people, it's making the people you have better, giving them an opportunity to be better and hit their goals. So really, what Svetlana does really well is to really build a relationship with the loan officers and ask, hey, where do you want to be? Because we don't assume everybody wants to double their production, because some people don't. Right? Some people say, hey, I'm good here. I want to do my 3-4 loans. It's, I want to really focus on quality of life, or whatever that is. But it's really, from an individual basis, knowing how we can make each loan officer better. We focus on a couple different things, especially with new loan officers. We focus on activities. Are you doing the activities that fit your strengths? And then we focus on branding. We focus heavily on branding and image, making sure that your online branding and your online image is who you are, and it's as strong as it can be. And then Yvonne helps us focus on metrics. We call them success metrics. You gotta know, what you're doing and what your goal is. Whether it's annual income, number of closed loans, appointments, referral partners. Really dissecting the metrics, the success metrics, so that you can grow your business. So recruiting, it's a piece of it, but neglecting your team is just could be detrimental to the growth anyway.
Yeah.
So we really focus a lot on the loan officers we have. We have very tenured loan officers, making sure that they're not getting neglected. They're getting everything they need to hit their goals and every type of support necessary for them to hit their goals and be successful inside the office as well as outside the office. Because that's one thing that's really different about our company or our region is outside the office, people support each other tremendously. It's not just 9 to 5, we're work buddies and that's it. It goes outside the office as well. And I think that's what makes the region really, really strong.
That's awesome. I mean, I love to hear how there's a focus on support and growth coming from within. And in turn, that really helps everyone prosper as a whole region. So what are some challenges that you guys have faced in the expansion of becoming a region?
I think at one point we grew too fast, and that's a challenge on its own, because you lose exactly what Tony spoke about. You're not taking care of the people that are already there. And that's when the door starts opening and closing, and you have people coming in and coming out, and you're like, what happened? So having somebody that's going to walk the person, or preparing ourselves, right? Now we have somebody who walks the person during the the onboarding period. And we have a team that takes care of this and make sure that person's taken care of and make sure they know, where to go, who to ask, how to get around, and somebody who's maintaining it, and then somebody who's keeping the metrics, and somebody who's motivating and coaching, and making sure that when somebody's in here, they are well taken care of. If they are here and if they stay, it's because they belong here. And there's times when we do hire someone and we're like, you know what, we're not a good fit, and let's figure this out sooner than later. But we have I think we've done really good with recruitment once we learned how to grow, right? And what our expectations were, to where when somebody gets hired, they're home. And I think that's every loan officer's goal. Number one, we're hiring loan officers who are career loan officers, not somebody that's here for the refi boom, and not somebody that's here for, let me see, what I can do. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I want to try it for, right now. No, we hire career loan officers, and you can tell the difference. And when every loan officer that we hire, it's consistently the same thing. They're looking for their forever home. They're looking for a place to retire, and we want to make sure that that's exactly what we give them, that we give them the family, we give them the support, we give them the coaching. The company is amazing. I don't know if you've ever compared the benefits that SNMC offers as a company as other companies that are out there, and we have an amazing company. They really treat us well here, and all we have to do is offer support and make sure that the loan officers are getting, everything that they can here.
Yeah, and I think it all really just comes back to support in a way where everyone is supporting each other in all these different ways and coming together, which then in turn just leads to higher profits or just better results.
Yeah. I mean, the company itself is amazing. Like, look at our top producer trips.
Yeah.
I don't think any other company has the top producer trips that we have.
Yeah, not the way that we have it, right?
No.
Why do you believe investing in second homes or vacation properties is a smart financial move for many individuals?
First of all, we practice what we preach. We have a huge amount of investment loans in our monthly fundings. But we all invest, and Svetlana shoves it into us. You need to invest, you need to,
Real estate.
What are you doing? You're making good money. What are you doing? You need to do something. And it has helped absolutely every person that has taken it and listened and put it into action. It's helped us grow. So whenever you look at an investment, you need to look at it long term. There's people that flip, and that's okay, and there's people that do the rentals, and that's okay. There's people that do Airbnbs, but you really have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And understand that you're not going to become rich overnight. And a lot of people do, and some people hit the jackpot with some investments, and that's amazing. But just understanding that real estate investment is a long-term investment is something very important as a consumer. But understanding the product and what you're selling and the market that you're selling in, and how it benefits your consumer as a loan officer, that's more important. Because in our appointments, you're everything. You're telling them how it's going to benefit in their taxes, how it's going to, how the property's values are going in that area, how much monthly income that's going to bring them, or if it's going to be a loss at first, but then eventually this, or whatever it might be. You have to make sure that that's a good investment for the borrower from the very beginning. If not, you're not going to have that second investment borrower. Because if you go put somebody in a property where it's losing money, they're not going to recommend you, right? Yeah. So you really, yourself as a loan officer, you have to be very well informed when you're selling these products, because you want to make sure that you know what you're selling and that you're giving them an investment that's going to be profitable to them.
Yeah, and having diversification of product, like you talked about earlier, I think is important, because If the loan officer is focusing 100% of their time on just purchase business, first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, but just purchase business, I think, they're really missing out on a couple loans a month because I think I saw a statistic recently that 30% of the transactions were investment properties. So if your business plan isn't geared towards focusing a little bit of your time on investors, you're going to miss out on a couple loans a month. And the same thing with refinances. If all of your 40 hours of work week is going towards, purchase business, you're probably missing out on a couple of refis that are in your pipeline. So having a diversification of product is important. But I also think, what we do is really try to focus on making sure that the loan officer's time, and we talk about a 40-hour work week. What does that 40-hour work week look like? If 40 hours are going all towards your purchase real estate referral partners, you might be missing out on something right now, because we want you to focus a little bit of time on your refinance business, your database, focus a little bit more time on maybe investment referral partners. So that's kind of what we do in the coaching, is we look at the industry metrics and make sure our loan officers are focusing on those that are in line with the industry metrics. And right now, there's a little bit of refinance out there. There's a little bit of investment property out there. And of course, the first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer.
Love it. So what's a piece of advice that you would give to someone that is looking to make their first investment on a property or maybe a piece of land? What's just one piece of advice that you would give them? I know there's probably a lot.
I think what Ivonne just said, don't try to get rich overnight.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple different investments. Are you going to try to do short-term rental, or are you just going to a second home that you're going to use and try to build equity in that? I think your advice is what I would say also is it's not an overnight get rich quick idea.
Yeah, don't be short.
Also, work with somebody who has the experience.
Yeah.
Because I know everybody wants to help a family member or someone they know, but you really need somebody who's experienced when it comes to these type of loans, to understanding the product, to understanding the neighborhood, to understanding like the return on investment, because that's really, really important. I've had people who went and bought houses because so-and-so told them, and they're not allowed to do rentals there, or, that's the worst thing.
It's becoming very common now.
Right? I bought it to do Airbnb, and it turns out the HOA don't allow me. Who told you could do an Airbnb here? Or in a declining market, or in an area where, you need certain licenses, and you really have to know who you're working with. I had people who do a flip and overinvest, right? They put too much money into their flip, or even worse, they buy a flip in a really good area and they don't put enough money into it. And it's not the right style. Like, you really have to work with people who know what they're doing. I think one thing is, as a first-time home buyer, but as an investor, you don't have the luxury of trying it out, right? Of, let's see how it goes. No, you really have to know your numbers. Yeah. And you can't use your gut on it. Do the math, know your numbers, and work with somebody who's a real professional.
Yeah. One bad investment could be catastrophic.
Yes.
If it's your first one.
Yeah. Yeah. So always look for an expert when you're going to make such a big decision. You want to know down to a T what your return on investment is going to be, and you can't be short-sighted in that, or like Tony said, it could be catastrophic.
Yes. You want to know what your minimal, what's the worst that can happen, and what's the best that can happen, and then put yourself somewhere in the middle and do some math.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Okay, so, well, I don't know if we should talk about market trends, since this is going to be coming out, what did I say, October or September?
Here's what I'll tell you about market trends. Oh, it was in the reading from the coaching that Svetlana sent out. There's no better time to plant a tree than 20 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is today. So market trends are like fashion trends. They come and go. But if you planted it 20 years ago, you have 20 years of equity.
Yeah.
And it's long term.
Yeah.
I always tell my clients, Ivonne, when's the best time to buy? Well, you tell me the truth if it's a good time to buy. Well, it was a good time to buy 5 years ago. And then it was a good time to buy 2 years ago. And even last year, it was a good time to buy. because right now prices are about to go up again because rates are going down,
Yeah.
So,
And as a loan officer, if you're doing the right activities, then your business is just going to be enhanced, if the
yeah.
market goes up or when it goes up. So that's what we tell our loan officers, or when we're recruiting, if you're waiting for rates to go down or the market to change so you can make more money, I think that's the wrong mentality to
Yeah.
have. Because if it never happens, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I hear consistently is the best time to buy is when you can.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And when I talk to borrowers, the best time to buy is when you can, but you also have to buy what you can afford.
Yeah.
And if that mortgage payment is something that you can only afford because you're working overtime right now, or because you have so-and-so living with you who's not consistently there, but they might be helping you for the next couple of months or a year, that's not the price range. You might have to start a little bit smaller than what you thought. It might not be what you dreamed of, but you can get to your dreams later. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
The interest rate doesn't matter to me. That's something that's irrelevant because the market changes and you can always refinance and sell and, grab the equity and buy what you really want. But what matters is, can you afford it? Because the people that are losing their houses right now, the people that I speak to that are looking to refinance to lower their payments, are everybody who bought at their max debt to income, who really pressured themselves into buying their dream home when they were not ready. And they should have started as something much smaller. So if the mortgage payment is something that you can afford, then do it. The rest of it doesn't matter, but that payment is what should matter to you, that you can afford it no matter what, right?
Yeah, not only afford it, but be able to still be saving up your money.
Yes, and not be mortgage broke either.
Exactly. What advice would you give to a new loan officer looking to make a name for themselves in this competitive industry?
I would say be ready to work your butt off, be coachable, listen, surround yourself by successful people, and have a plan. Just have a plan.
Start early on a CRM and work your whole day off of that CRM. Your appointments, time block, every lead, every realtor, every contact, put them in there, send out those emails. Just this morning, just funny story, just this morning, I got an email from a lady that I did her loan 9 years ago.
Wow.
And she has a completely different number. I've called her a couple times because I do try to stay in contact with my borrowers. And I knew her number had changed. I have it as disconnected. But she emailed me back from our Surefire emails. And she's like, Ivonne, I need to get another loan. Call me. And this is my new number. So again, somebody who I thought no longer had contact with, somebody who I thought was no longer going to come back to me because I've tried.
Yeah.
This precise morning, she sent me a message at 6 a.m.
That's great. I mean, I hear that a lot, of the importance of just maintaining and managing your CRM, of how that can really lead to more business, or you could even become a top producer off of just really knowing the ins and outs and managing it well.
Yes, call everybody back.
Yeah.
Stay in touch.
I think new loan officers, I think they don't really understand what the role of a loan officer is, because you see new loan officers come into the business and they're constantly looking at their emails and they're constantly looking at guidelines and all that. Really, your 40 hours up for a new loan officer, or if you don't have a lot of loans in your pipeline, your 40 hours needs to be in front of referral partners.
Yeah.
40 hours a week. If the more referral partners you can get in front of, the more loans you're going to close. So when we see new loan officers, it's like, hey, let's look at your 40-hour work week. How many referral partners are you talking to in that 40 hours? Because it has to be a lot in order for you to grow. Yeah. There's nothing in that email that you really need to read today, right now. You need to be in the field, on the phone, getting in front of referral partners 40 hours a week. You will grow your business if you do that, versus making sure that every email is categorized and making sure that you're looking at all the updated underwriting guidelines. That's important. But if you don't have any loans,
But not yet. Yeah.
right, if you don't have any loans, it's it's kind of not the most important thing. So when we do have new loan officers come to our company or our region, we really push, get out, be out. If we need you, we will call you. Just be out, get in front of as many referral partners as possible. If you need help figuring out how to do that, we have coaching that'll help you figure out how to get in and who to get in front of. The ones that are doing business, the ones that are not doing business, anywhere from financial advisors, CPAs, real estate agents, attorneys, not just, real estate agents, but a whole different group of financial advisors and financial professionals.
And not everybody works just with real estate agents. And you have to know what you're good at, right? We have loan officers who are great at building these really tight relationships with their agents. We have loan officers that are really good at putting classes together and that attract people through social media. We have loan officers that do a really good job creating relationships with their clients, and their majority of the referral source is client-based. We have loan officers who are amazing at putting events together, and they get tons of leads, and they're the referral partner. They're the ones that are controlling where these leads go to. What's important is to figure out what you're good at and do it fast and do it a lot. So whether it's events, whether it's maintaining relationships with your realtors or social media, and here we go into the metrics, right? Know your numbers. What's bringing in your clients? Is it the realtors? Is it the social media? Is it the events? And then figure out what's bringing you in the quality leads, and then do that again, and then do that again, and then do it again. That's how you're going to grow. But if you're stuck on I want to grow my leads through social media, and you're awful at it, but you're really good at doing relationships, but you keep on going and trying to do social, why are you wasting your time?
Yeah.
So just
Know your strengths.
Yeah. Find out your strength fast, get a CRM, and find somebody who can keep you on track.
Yeah. So part of our coaching is the activities, but activities that match your strengths.
Yeah.
So, it kind of goes back to what you said. It's like, if you're great at this, but you're not doing it, you need to start doing more of what's working. And sometimes loan officers don't know, so a lot of times we just, when we have our one-on-ones with them and talk about the strengths, we have to kind of tell them, hey, did you notice how good that sounded or how well that worked for you?
Yeah.
You need to do a lot more of that.
I think that's some really great advice for someone to just take and run with, because you guys really give us a lot there. I feel like I could get started.
You want to be a loan officer?
All right, but we'll start
We're hiring.
We'll start our coaching on Friday.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about the community. So how important is community engagement for loan officers, and what are some effective ways to connect with the community?
I think it's certainly important. I think events is the best way to connect with community. In Phoenix, it's a large city, but there's smaller suburbs, and a couple of our loan officers, they do first-time homebuyer events pretty much a couple times a month.
Yeah.
And they really focus on a certain area. They have little 20-minute classes, so they can book multiple people a day, and they focus on their community. They focus on a section of the community, and they're our number one originators in our region. And doing the events, in my opinion, that's the best way to connect with the community.
I agree.
Yeah. So just events, making yourself known, and
and it doesn't have to be first time home buyer events. It could just be, hey, you're volunteering with a community. You're on a board for a community, and you just, whether I see a lot of dog rescues, for communities that do dog rescues. You're always there. You're always posting, about adoptions and fairs and fundraisers and stuff like that. That builds community engagement. And it happens if you're a loan officer, as long as you're promoting that you're a loan officer and you're working with this, whether it's an organization, charity, or what have you, spending time with that organization, that builds community engagement as well.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't.
And finding your community.
Yeah.
Right. So If you're a mom, get in the PTO, go volunteer at the school, bring, donuts for teacher day and office assistant day and, all that stuff. And then they get to know you and you brand it and you put your name on it, right? And like, I'm a dance mom. Like every event I'm out there and I offer, help to all of the dance parents, right? And they all know what I do. Like absolutely every single person must know what you do. If you're involved in church, then, offer financial classes. That's your community and be involved in it. So it's whatever it is that your community is, just be a strong member in that community because everybody has to know what you do.
Yeah. So it's just really about getting involved with your community and also making yourself known to that community.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of lending evolving? If you have any foresight into the future for us.
I think if you're not using technology, you're going to be obsolete. You're going to be out pretty soon. If you don't not understanding AI and you are not doing anything to get better at it, you're going to be out pretty soon. Everything's becoming so automated.
Yeah.
Everything is a link, a click, a password. You just need to get with it and stop fighting it. I think that's the biggest issue. And also, as much as people think that it's all technology, consumers want relationships. And if you're not picking up the phone, if you're not meeting your consumers in person, if you're not creating some sort of way to connect with them, like client events, client appreciation events, or anything like that, you're not going to last. Because even though it's so online and so, it's all on your phone, like literally, you can take your app on your phone, you can upload all your documents, you can get your VOEs, you can do the, even your signing is so much smaller now with like e-signings and everything, that the only opportunity that you have to connect with your borrower is through a client appreciation event, a client event, or meeting them at the signing, things like that. That if you're not doing that, it's not going to happen. You're going to lose them. Somebody else is going to catch their attention.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, I think, we talk about it all the time. We really are focusing on AI and how to integrate AI in our daily roles to help expedite, our workload.
Yeah.
So I think AI is tremendous. It's important. And then, like I say, if you're not using it, you need to start using it because, some of the things that AI can do can save you hours a day, and if you can have AI, organize your database and really kind of line up who you should call and you actually make that call, that's the efficiency that's going to help you grow your business and really scale your business because there's only a certain amount of hours in the work week. There's only a certain amount of calls you can make. But if you have, some AI assistance, if you have good processes in place, that's really going to help you, not waste time doing all that. AI, the right programs can do it in seconds. And, if you're not using it, I don't think it's the end of the world for you. But if you want to scale your business, you have to work smarter. And AI is really, really smart these days.
For sure. I totally agree. I think a lot of people are scared that AI is going to replace them, but really it's just going to help them have an easier time in figuring out what they need to do.
Yeah, because I think Ivonne said it, people are going to want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
When there's like, hey, if I'm buying a house, this is going to be my mortgage payment. I get AI, but I need to talk to Ivonne. I need to make sure that everything is what we see on the computer screen. So I think that's the importance of, the human, the contact that if loan officers are relying on, technology and AI to really do everything for them, I think they're going to lose a lot of business because, AI is a piece of it. It's not, the X factor that's going to, get the borrower to go with you every time. I think, it's you use it to help make your business efficient. A loan officer still has to do what the loan officers do, which is build that relationship with the borrower.
Yeah, I completely agree because no one, from a consumer point of view, no one wants to be talking to a computer
Right? You're always zero customer
Yeah.
service.
If I click what happens if I click this? Let me just call Ivonne.
Yes,
Exactly.
I want to talk to a person.
Yeah, I go crazy when I'm like, I know it's a robocaller.
Yeah.
Let me talk to a real
Yeah, just
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
They will
I won't take
understand
their
what I
time.
need. Yeah. All right, so we're going to step into a couple of our rapid fire questions. Just try to answer these with your first couple thoughts. Some could be fun, some could be serious.
Okay.
All right, so what is your favorite loan product to discuss?
Renovation loans.
Renovation.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't say to do, but to discuss.
Let's discuss how not to do it.
Yeah.
I think the SCR loans.
DSCR loans.
Yeah.
So what makes both of these loans something fun to discuss for you guys?
Well, for me, it's like every hour of every day, if you turn on the TV, there's a show about somebody buying a house that's ugly and renovating it. Now it's beautiful, right?
True, yeah.
The renovation loan does that for borrowers.
Yeah.
You know, so I think every realtor wants to hear it. Borrowers love it. Do we do it enough? I don't think so. But I love the idea of buy this ugly house, finance in the upgrades, and then this is what you get.
Yeah,
So I think it's a great product for the buyer.
it's true. Then what about with DSCR loans?
I think the SCR loans opened the door to a lot of people who thought they could not invest. And the rates are amazing. It's a quarter of the headache. So why not? It's so much easier than what people think.
Yeah, it's good to know. All right, a beach vacation or a mountain retreat?
Beach.
Each.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty easy one. All right, so what is your favorite way to unwind after a long day? I know you might just be going to dance, Mom. You might not have that option.
My favorite way to unwind. I like Hallmark movies. Just like you know how they're gonna end. You know what the beginning, the middle, the end. Like it's just
Just an easy one.
There's too much stress in the day.
Yes,
You
do
know,
not.
without watching
Yeah.
stressful stuff.
I already had like my crime scene era.
Yeah.
I watched all those shows. Now I am like in the happily ever after era. Just something not stressful.
Yeah, I'm a Hallmark person also, and I just knew we
Aw.
had Christmas in July, so you know my wife. I know all the channels, and I agree. It's just the day can be so stressful. Watching something on TV that you know how it's going to end. It's happy. Everybody's pretty. Everybody's beautiful. So, but
It's all in the country.
yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, yeah. And even when I go to the gym, I have a podcast on. When I'm driving to work, I got a podcast on. I'm flying, I got a podcast on, so finding good, interesting podcasts and, generally, I get some recommendations for books to read from the podcast. So just kind of listen to stuff like that. That's kind of how I unwind now.
That's good. And now you're on a podcast.
I know, it's amazing. Can't wait to download it.
Exactly.
It's his dream come true.
And that
You
also
get a
kind
book recommendation. Maybe I'll go buy the book.
Hey, that led me into another question, but
Okay.
it's asking you if you have a book recommendation.
I'm in the process of reading this book called The Comfort Crisis.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's about how we've become so comfortable,
Yeah.
and the goal is just to become more and more comfortable. You don't have to leave your house to get groceries anymore. Just
love that.
everything is really simple, and how being uncomfortable and physically doing things that are really, really demanding can change your life. So you talk about how millions, thousands of years ago, if you didn't catch your dinner, you were gonna die. If you weren't in shape to run from the
Predator.
tiger, you were gonna die. So the consequences were astronomical. And today, there aren't really many consequences. What's the consequence today? Slow Wi-Fi. I don't know the Wi-Fi passcode. My reception on my iPhone is bad right now. Those aren't really dire consequences. So the book Comfort Crisis, and I'm only about a quarter way through, really talks about how getting back to not necessarily struggle, but the challenge, challenging yourself with, real consequences, can help change your perception and outlook in life going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important. That sounds like a really good book. Yvonne, do you have a book recommendation?
Uh, in a mortgage podcast, I think Raving Fans, right? Is it
Raven Fans?
Raving Fans?
Raving
Yeah.
Fans,
Oh,
yeah.
Raving Fans.
Yeah. That was a good book that I read. I think as a starting loan officer, that's a good book to read. It's going to get you in the right mindset. Overall, in life, I mean, the instruction book of all, the Bible, right? You have to read it, and there's so many shortcuts to doing things right there.
Yeah. So this is going to be maybe a hard one because I'm sure you've received a lot of advice, but what is the best piece of advice you've received?
I think the best piece of advice I received was when times are good, you should invest. I've seen in my 20 years good times and bad times. I've seen people come up really fast in those good times and then go down really fast in the bad times. And one of the things that it's the consistent situation is that as they're making more money, they're spending more and they're buying more, and they should be investing more. Because in the bad times, those investments is what pulls you through.
Yeah, that's great advice. What about you?
In the workspace, it kind of comes back. It's very cyclical, but about 15 years ago, I heard someone say, a good market creates bad habits. I think we're kind of going through that, right now, where in 2021, a lot of people were closing a lot of loans just because of the circumstance. The rates were just lower. And today, when we, talk about what you need to do to be successful, the people that made a ton of money in 2021, they created a lot of bad habits, and that's why, again, when we talk about the coaching, we talk about your 40-hour work week, market changes, shouldn't change your 40-hour work week very much. If you're doing your activities, and you're doing all your marketing, you're gonna make money no matter what the environment is. You'll make more money in a great environment, but a good market creates bad habits. Yeah, we've seen it a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times maybe in the last 20 years.
If you could have dinner with a historical figure, who would it be?
Go first.
I'm thinking about that because I don't know if I have a historical figure. I don't want to just say like Abraham Lincoln just to say Abraham Lincoln. But I know somebody I'd want to have dinner with. I don't know if he's a historical figure, but for me, Nick Saban is a guy that, like, every reel that comes up is just like, man, the stuff that he says, not only about football, but about, boys becoming men and men becoming husbands and good fathers. I mean, that's stuff that's really important to me, being a father of 2, but I'd love to just get time with Nick Saban just to talk.
Yeah, pick his brain.
Yeah,
that would be very interesting. Yeah.
Not very historical.
He will be.
Maybe it didn't answer the question the right way, but that's the first person that comes to mind.
I mean, I think that works. In 100 years, he'll still be known. He'll be historical. Yeah. And Yvonne?
Mary Magdalene, which is Jesus' mom.
Okay.
Because just imagine
Makes sense.
the predicament she was in. And there's a couple of people who are creating history right now, right?
Yeah.
And one of them is Elon Musk. I would love to pick his mind and just listen to him talk. Maybe go to like a TED Talk or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he's somebody who's really interesting.
Some interesting answers, you guys. I like it. I don't even know who I would pick. So,
but do you want to tell them the fun fact about me and you?
Yeah, let's.
Do you have a fun fact about me?
We have a fun fact.
Let's hear it.
We share the same birthday.
Oh
What day is it?
He's also 21.
February 25th. Yeah, I started when I was 10 years old too.
That's awesome.
February 25th. We
Yes.
share the same birthday.
That's really
And isn't it funny? I'm here realizing that we're really similar, right? Like,
Yeah, I
we
think
both follow like.
when we got to know each
schedules.
other, I think when we talked about, our ambitions, in high school with, military and stuff like that,
Yes.
it's like, wow, we're like the same person.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, it has been a pleasure and an honor to have you both on. I greatly appreciate it. Where can people follow you on social media? And if you have any last messages for the audience, let them know.
Where can people follow me on social?
Summit, I think the Summit Region page is probably the best way to
Yeah.
follow.
Oh, no.
'Cause,
Okay.
yeah, our Summit Region Instagram page.
And then you can always, it would always take you into our personal pages. Like I have my Instagram, Ivonne Vasquez SNMC, our Facebook.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll also have those down in the description so people
Yeah.
can find you. All right. Yeah, that's the end of our show. So to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Mind Your Mortgage and leave a comment. Mind your mortgage and have a wonderful day.